Michael, there's been a lot of turnover this year. As being your first preseason and first time head coach, what challenges have you had and what have you seen from this group that you've liked so far?
Um, no big challenges, honestly. It's normal that in a preseason there's a lot of different moving parts. You know, players coming, players going, um, players who have been here for a long time, trying to figure out exactly what their situation is with a new coach, and so yeah, this stuff is all pretty normal. Um, the response of the players has been incredible in every way, in terms of just as we get to work now, establishing some new ideas, new ways of playing, new ways of training, of working every day, and so they have come in every single day, so open, so excited by what we're doing, and for 3 weeks we feel like things are going in a good direction. And so we talked this morning about the idea that basically 2 more weeks of preseason left, and then that final week of training leading into the first game. So things are moving fast, and the first game's coming quick. But in all ways, the group is coming together in a good way, and yeah, we're excited about the direction that we're headed.
Just a little follow up. We spoke with Dylan and he said that the message that you've been putting out there has been the clearest that he's seen from a head coach since he's been here. As a first year coach, what does that mean to you?
Um, Look, we try every day to create an environment where there's good training, where there's good discussion, where there is good work, and we try to connect the dots every single day for the players in terms of why we do certain things, how we connect training to the game. When we are moving through a week and now we choose moments to show video from training or show video from games, to make them really understand why we do things, and how it all fits together. And so, as I said, their response to all of that has been really positive. They've been, from the first day, open and excited and ask questions, and the best part is that when we show things or talk about things, then you see immediate application. You see immediately that guys are stepping on the field and trying to do the things that we're talking about. And so, yeah, the starting points of the environment every day, and the ways that we're all working together have been really good. And like I keep saying, it's now taking those ideas and taking the starting points of the football package and trying to make it all that much better every day.
Next to James.
Coach, the club announced the signing of Jorge Rubalcaba this morning. Just what can you tell us about bringing that player in and what that's going to mean for the group in 2026?
Yeah, we're really excited. Really excited to have George with us. He is a guy that when we sat down not long after I got the job, and now we started discussing the squad, discussing plans for this season, possible additions. He was the first player that I was shown, and I watched a little bit, and watched what the club had prepared in terms of video, in terms of background information, data, the full dossier, and then I spent even more time myself, watching, and it was a player that for me, really fits what we're trying to do. Young, exciting, attacking player who is dynamic and wants to be aggressive, wants to take balls on the move, wants to find different ways to get into the box, score goals, set up goals, against the ball. He's a guy that chases and presses and gives everything he has for the team. And so yeah, when the more I watched, the more I was really excited about the possibility of bringing him to Red Bull New York. And obviously the club, Julian and Sam and Jimmy and everybody working in the background deserves huge credit, because it was whenever you talk about a deal like that, there is a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into it. And so as a club, we're really excited to have him with us, and we're gonna do everything we can to help him settle in and show everybody what a good player he is.
Next we have Joe Pantorno.
Hey, Michael, thanks for doing this. There still might be one more significant departure coming your way on the back line with Noah Ayla. I guess just where do you maybe see that position right now? How confident are you in Dylan Nealis potentially taking that mantle? And do you think there might be something more needed to sort of bolster that position? Thanks.
Yeah, look, I've really enjoyed the first 3 weeks working with Noah. Really, really good young player, good mentality. It's normal that when you have good young players, that there is interest and discussion, and so there's, when you get to the end of a transfer window, there's a lot of different things flying around, and so we'll see how things finalize over the next few days. Generally speaking, I feel really good about the group that we have, the ways that we're working and we're pushing guys every day. The response and the way that every single one of the guys in the back, whether it's Dylan Nealis, whether it's Tim Parker, whether it's Robbie Volador, whether it's Justin Shea, the way that we train, we still challenge guys in different ways on different days. We used Raheem and Matty Dos Santos a little bit in the center of the back the other day against Hartford, and so the putting guys in some of these positions is still ways. It's still a good way to make them better. And as we move forward, we'll figure out the best ways to put it all together, and to make sure that we have a squad in every way that covers us, and we feel like we can move through a season with.
Next we go to Mark.
Hey, Coach. Ronnie Donkor was on before you, was effusive about the connection that you guys have been able to build in a relatively short amount of time. Can you talk about your process of building relationships with individual players, letting them know what the expectations are, and getting them to buy into the system?
You just get to work. You just do it. You don't waste any time trying to have conversations with guys, trying to learn about who they are as players, as people. Try to, take the football ideas that I have in my head and try to make it as clear as possible for them, and try to show them all the details that will help them take the qualities that they have and make them hold up as games get better and the level goes higher. And so it's fun when you work with a group of players that are motivated and committed and determined every day to come in and compete in the right ways, try to improve, try to do everything they can to make the environment for the team better. That's what it's all about. And so, when you come in as a new coach, there's no roadmap where it's do this first and then do that and then you do this. You just get to it, and you're trying every single day to build on the day before and make sure that every single guy or as many guys as possible understand how we're trying to move this all forward.
Next we go to Sean McCaffrey.
Don Sacalona Magazine, thank you for your time, Coach. Having played in this league from a young age and then back again, what unique perspectives do you bring as a coach now as far as preparing the players? I mean, the travel can be ungodly because the country is so big, the league is physical, fast. What do you bring where the others might not have had? Not that they're a better or worse coach, but they just don't have that particular experience that you, of course, do.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have experience in the league. I know what certain things are like, and so it doesn't mean that I have all the answers. That's for sure. Far from it, but it means that my ability to understand in a lot of moments, what the players are thinking or what they're feeling, or some of the unique challenges that exist in this league. Yeah, I'm able to connect with them a little bit and understand that part, and so it all just gets filed under this category of trying to create a team and a group and an environment every day where everybody feels like we're all in it together and we're working and we're building something that we can all be proud of. And so it's anything that I can do to help that or help facilitate that's a positive.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions with Coach. First, go to Anthony Merced, and then we'll finish up with Sean Harnett. Anthony, you have the floor.
Hey, Coach. It seems like the common theme has been just that the team is very comfortable with you. You're very comfortable with them as through preseason, and that everybody's very excited about implementing the changes that have come to this team. Going into the regular season, there's always bumps along the way. How do you keep that level of comfort with a group when once you get into the middle of the year?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's preseason is easy, right? There's no points up for grabs, and you can get everybody to really commit to the idea that this is the work, and this is all part of now building as we get closer to the regular season and when things really count. And so then it's normal that at a certain point it doesn't all go your way. That's not reality. There will be inevitably moments where we're doing everything we can and trying to be at our best, but for whatever reason, it's not quite where we want it yet, or it's not, we don't get a break, or we let a few things slip, and it's in those moments where the mentality of the group and the spirit and the fabric of a team gets really tested. And so, there's no substitute for that. Like I said, things don't just go your way. You have to, everything has to be earned. Nothing is for free. And so, we're in the early days of establishing, who we are, what we want to be, and that is all going to get put to the test. And we, for where we are, feel really good about the work and the way that we're moving things along together. But we all know that it's going to get put to the test, and there will be days where we come through in a good way, and there's going to be other days where maybe we've got to look at ourselves and be ready to take the next step. But like I said, that's all part of it.
And we'll finish up with Sean.
Coach Bradley, I know you're not very far removed from your playing career. Do you feel you have an advantage in terms of relating to the players and being in training environments with your teams toward the end of your career, where the training is more new age, is more modern, and you're able to bring that to the team?
I try to use that to my advantage in every way. You know, the part of being able to connect with these guys, of being able to relate to them. That is a huge part of being a good coach. Is again the environment that you create and the way that you are able to connect with your players in every way. And so, the part of being at an age where I, in some cases have played against some of these guys. There's a few that I've played with, and so I'm able to use that to all of our advantage. And then there's the part always of how do you balance the part of an environment where there are real standards and where there's a demand every day for people to be at their best, and where people feel like there is real competition for everything that we're doing. And how do you balance that part with ultimately creating an environment where people feel a part of something, and where people every day when they walk through the doors are excited to be here and feel good about the work and what we're doing. So I think that again it's there are no perfect answers, but like I said, I try to be really cognizant of all that, and try to use the every advantage that I have to create the best possible atmosphere for these guys every day.